insider today for the Buccaneers happens to be Dave Moore.
Where one of Warren's old buddies, Dave Moore, is standing by, former NFL tight end, Tampa Bay.
You know, right now the Buccaneers just aren't getting a pass rush to Eli like they were earlier in the game, which is really leaving him plenty of time to sit back there and read a defense. It was really just a nice executed play by the Giants. You know, that's what they call a fade stop, Gene. You know, you got a big guy like Plexico on the outside. He just runs like he's going to run a takeoff, and the quarterback intentionally throws it behind him so he can stop, and that defensive back in Rondé kept going.
The New York Giants continue their domination on the road. This time in the playoffs in the NFC wildcard game, they beat the Bucs 24-14. Bill McGowan is back with Dave Moore, and this is not the outcome you and I were thinking about back in that first quarter. Things looked a little bleak for the Giants.
They really started strong. They came out and did exactly what they set out to do. Ernest Graham up and down the field, taking what the defense was given, and really put a lot of pressure on the Giants, kept them off balance in that first quarter. And on the other side, -2 yards for the Giants offense.
Now, obviously, the coaching staff looked at some pictures and film mid-game. What adjustments did the Giants coaching staff make to turn the tide of this game?
Well, they were patient. They stayed with Brandon Jacobs. We talked before the game that was going to be a big issue for this undersized defensive line at Tampa Bay. And Eli did a great job at taking what the defense was given, those short passes to keep the chains moving.
Now, on this whole idea of patience, did the Bucs get away from the running game too soon? Should they have been a little bit more patient and keep that going?
After how well they ran the ball in the first quarter, they really did. They needed to stay with it. You knew you had to keep the Giants' defense off balance. And we talked with Jeff Garcia before the game whether or not he was going to be rusty. I think we got that question answered. He came out there, made some really uncharacteristic throws, forced them in a lot of 3-and-out situations, and let the pass rush of the Giants defense really get going in the second quarter.
So, all right, now the Giants try to keep this domination on the road going. They go down to Dallas next week.
If we were talking earlier in the season, you would have to give it to the Cowboys just because of what they did week one. But now, I mean, this is going to be a lot tougher of a game for Dallas to win, and the Giants are really playing strong on the road.
Peaking at the right time. I guess that's what's all about in the playoffs. All right. We'll be down there next week for the Giants-Cowboys. Until then, Bill McGowan with Dave Moore. We'll see you then.
Where one of Warren's old buddies, Dave Moore, is standing by, former NFL tight end. Tampa Bay, of course, set to take on the Cowboys. Dave, Tampa, as good as they are defensively, they do have some issues covering the tight end, and they have a load today to deal with in Jason Witten.
They really do. And, you know, people were going to want to talk about Joey Galloway, the return of him, also the matchup between T.O. and Rondé Barber. But Jason Witten's going to cause some problems for Barrett Root and the linebackers on the inside. Barrett Root and Monty's defense are responsible for stopping a run between the tackles and covering the middle of the field in that Tampa 2. Any downhill play action by Marion Barber is going to give the advantage to Jason Witten up the middle. And in the 2 games that the Buccaneers have lost this year, the tight ends have made some big plays down the field.
All right, Dave Moore, longtime NFL tight end.
2008. Is the defense the strength of the team right now?
It really is. And every preseason, they're suspect up the middle. They're built on smaller, undersized defensive linemen. And they've answered the call this year. They have great inside guys. Chris Hovan's doing a tremendous job. High motor guy getting from sideline to sideline. Javon Hay is doing a very good job. These are some young guys you haven't really heard about. Not necessarily Chris Hovan, but Javon Hay and some other guys on the inside that are really doing a good job of keeping those gaps tight and letting their linebackers run and make tackles. You know, they're built on speed, but yet they're doing a great job up the middle.
Now, Tampa Bay had been on a hot streak until last.
Whether I'm casting out this line or catching footballs time after time, I'm looking for one.
I'm Dave, and welcome back to One More Catch. Last episode, we were out battling the cobia and took our chances with a big bull shark and came up shy. And our second day down here in the Keys, we're going to go back out and we're going to try to get on a permit first thing in the morning. And then maybe, if I can talk my buddy Mike into going back out and battling that bull shark, see if we can come up better this time.
I'm looking for one more catch.
This is a great opportunity to have an ex-NFL player work not only for you, but with you. Call Pinnacle Employee Leasing and ask for me personally, and you'll see I'm a pretty good guy.